Thank you very much, Sister Ann, and welcome everyone. Welcome and welcome back. The beginning of the academic year is really the best time of year. We finally get to give our children and grandchildren back to their schools, and the relentless "are we there yet" are starting to fade away. Of course, we love our summer season and the time away with our family. We just don't like sharing the shore rental with them, especially after the full week. So next year, we'll be bringing the sisters with us. Truly, though, the beginning of the academic year is a wonderful time of year. Welcoming each other and our students engenders the joy of launching to something new and wonderful. Like this year's new student orientation, it is really a fun season. We have accomplished so much in the last year, and we can be optimistic and strategic about the years ahead for a number of reasons. As you hear today's presentation, think about how peer institutions compare. We definitely have a leg up, and that's our blessing. As our long-range plan articulates, we're an institution that is caring and purposeful. On Welcome Back Day, it's important for us to thank the Sisters of St. Basil the Great for their prayers and their blessings and their ministry that is Manor College. We thank our Board of Trustees, Chairman Dennis McGrath, and all of our trustees for gifting their knowledge, leadership, and support. Let's thank especially Sister Dorothy Ann and Sister Ann who are joining us today. As an institution, we are holistically resilient. Last year, our theme was Students First. There's no doubt that remains true. We placed our students first through the lens of our mission. And our mission, with our core values, call upon us to respect the dignity of each person. You've heard me say before that St. Basil the Great asks us to be generous and to use whatever is left over from our real needs to do good. It is so important for our students that we give them the extra 5 minutes, the individualized attention, responsiveness that allays their concerns, the kind of prompting that moves them into action when they have stalled. Sometimes, yes, it's about hand-holding. This year, we encourage our students to reach. Our students are 75% from Philadelphia, 60% diverse, 65% first generation, 80% of them are working while in college, and 94% need and receive financial aid. Those data tell us how essential it is that our students receive our authentic care and encouragement. Not for all of them, but for the majority of our students, the times that we're living in are presenting them with challenges that are unlike prior generations. 5 online national surveys were undertaken to understand high schoolers' perceptions of post-secondary education, the workforce, and the impact of COVID-19 on the learning landscape. 5,000 plus students aged 14 to 18 were surveyed across 5 waves of research. Some of the key findings are here, and they include that 6 out of 10 of them worry about how are they going to pay for college. 68% said the cost of tuition is an important factor. 64% cite making higher education less expensive as being the number one thing that they want to change about higher education. And 50% surveyed believe that a college degree is not necessary to get them where they want to go in the future. You'll see that matches another piece of data I'm going to talk about just now. And that is that the likelihood of teens pursuing a 4-year degree has diminished substantially since the pandemic, with only half of teens still considering it. The percentage of high school students considering a 4-year degree in February of 2020 and May of 2020 was 65 to 71%. But since then, it's hovered around 50%. A recent National College Attainment Network report discussed countrywide new FAFSA filings, this is countrywide, being down 9% and renewals down 12%. Bill DeBon, who is the network's Senior Director of Data and Strategic Initiatives, said, quote, a number of factors including increased employment opportunities, affordability, and time to earn degrees might be driving the slowdown in FAFSA entries. He stated, we think about FAFSA as a leading indicator of enrollment and retention nationally. The employment opportunities that he describes might be oversimplified in this next slide, but to make the point, here's what's happening. A person sees an entry-level job and that it's paying more, and they're attracted. They don't realize that inflation has already caught up, as it always does, even though they know the price of goods and services is more. So they take that entry-level job, they forego education, and they fail to have the elevated lifetime prospects for career growth that are on par with having an education. And an entire generation becomes financially stymied, that 50% that didn't go. Therefore, I would add to Bill DeBon's factors at least one more factor, and that is the popularly missed, avoided, or uncomprehended value of higher education. A college education is the #1 financial booster. We covered the data showing that last year, so I'm not going to repeat it. Suffice it to say, the evidence that upward economic mobility is directly correlated to degree attainment and degree level is as ironclad as it gets. The key for us as a college community is communicating that message about value effectively and enthusiastically. Now, to help inform our students, last semester, John Krebs presented on the value of higher education. Tomorrow, for our You Belong Here Professional Development Day, he's going to share a revised version of that presentation with you. I'm going to share just one slide that John shared with me with you. And this is a teaser for tomorrow. It's pretty telling. It's pretty telling. So as you're listening to John talk about the value of higher education tomorrow, please be creative in your listening and in how you respond to John's presentation about value. And as you think about communicating that out community-wide, we need your ideas for how we escalate the value message out to prospective students within and beyond our current reach. And we can add to the value of higher education discussion by showcasing our specific value proposition, which distinguishes us in the marketplace. And this is all of it. We've got more than 35 degrees and programs. We have a 15-to-1 student-teacher ratio. Now that's the highest. That number was last year's number. We don't know this year's number yet. But that's the highest that it ever was. It usually is between 9-to-1 and 12-to-1. So I reasonably expect that we'll be close to that again. We're the best priced private college in Pennsylvania. And think about how responsive that is to that survey data that we just discussed. We're recognized for being among the best in intergenerational economic mobility of our students. This is what they're looking for. They're looking for how is their time with us going to move them to a career. Our students have low debt, and 94% of our students receive financial aid when the national average is 85%. When we say that our students have low debt, we're at about 50%. Our students have about 50% of the national average of students who attend post-secondary institutions. So they have low debt. We're ranked the second safest college in the nation. We're 60% ethnically and racially diverse in terms of our student population, and we've been founded by caring and welcoming religious Ukrainian women, the Sisters of St. Basil the Great. And our faculty are being thoughtful about our students' needs, because you know those costs of textbooks always come up at this time of year, and we're using the open educational resources, and we've included the cost of our books with tuition for all but 3 of our programs. This year, retention is going in the right direction and growing as we speed toward the beginning of the semester. The 2022 column there means for students returning in 2023. It's trending positive, thanks to the all-in effort of our faculty and academic affairs and enrollment management and the work of everyone who has taken seriously the calls of the past that all of us, everyone on campus, be in admissions and retention. It's everyone's part of our purpose. And we're doing that. Here is our 4-year, year-over-year admissions comparison, which shows our progress. Dr. Gillespie, so the far right column is the most recent. Dr. Gillespie just shared with me some new numbers today, so this is last week. The top of our admissions funnel is the created line, and you can see that that is better than the last 2 years. Our submitted numbers, one down, are better than last year and pre-pandemic. That's great. It's fantastic. All of the next 3 levels down are close to pre-pandemic levels, and our enrolled new students are trending better than last year, and that makes sense because the better part of our students' academic and economic recovery is just starting now, and we're reading about that. Likewise, what I just said about demographic changes shows that we are fighting the headwinds much better than others. Actually, those bottom 2 numbers now are 198 and 161 on the far right side. So we're well ahead of where we were last year. So this next slide is a bit light, but these are our projections for this year. And again, they are very good, and we're close. And it's important that we finish strong, and we will. Our admissions office leadership is persistent and determined. Dr. Joe Gillespie and newly doctorally conferred Jessica Zaldos live the Basilian culture with our wonderful admissions team. They have worked hard. They have worked collaboratively with our college's community to launch a new strategic enrollment management plan that charges us ambitiously towards our goals. We had robust admissions events again. Here's our fall on-campus group visit events. And these are our by-individual fall on-campus events by the number of people registered versus the number of people who actually attended. And these proportions are fairly normal for us. Here's our spring group events and more individual event registered versus attended numbers for spring. We also started to move back to in-person high school visits. Last year, more than 200 school visits were conducted. Likewise, we attended 181 college fairs last year, collecting more than 1,700 inquiry cards, each one of which individually was by hand added to our admissions CRM system. And that doesn't include a few other unique fairs that we attended. One was in the Northeast, a 24-hour access one, and then a virtual one. It was another 2,100 inquiry cards obtained from our participation. These efforts, without even getting into marketing yet, these efforts collectively positioned us well in a very, very competitive recruitment environment, with growth for us projected through the year 2025. Thank you to our admissions team. course, we all work together, and it couldn't happen without new dad, Chris Hartman, and our financial aid team. Continue to assist 94% of our students to receive financial aid. Chris, Nick, and Rosie have been wholly committed to getting our students to goal, even with the challenge of working through a new system that for them came online at a working midpoint. So thank you again, Chris, Nick, and Rosie. Now, nothing happens without strong fiscal policy. People talk about having a tight budget on our campus, and we do. We do every year. And that's the way it is when you're a part of a smaller tuition-funded college. There's a reason that we keep a tight budget. There's a rule for running any organization. If you operate a balanced budget and not a deficit, you don't get upside down. We have balanced our budget every year for the last 8 years. Contrast that with our peers. I recently had a college president of a sprawling, beautiful campus tell me that he envies our campus. It wasn't because our campus was bigger or luxurious. It's because we're smaller and purposeful and efficient. And while other colleges have spent lavishly in years past on things that they now can't afford, racking up millions of dollars in debt that they have to pay back every month like a large mortgage, we stay the course with nominal debt. By comparison, we have roughly 1/15 to 1/20 of the debt of just about any private college competitor. That means that we don't have a hulking mortgage, and instead we keep our tuition affordable because we don't have to pass on the cost of that debt to our students in the form of unaffordable tuition. I share all of that with you to say, yes, every year certain people grumble that our budget is tight. You bet it is. And we wouldn't have it any other way. We take a methodical, strategic approach to invest in our campus community of people and in improvements and renovations out of our operating budgets instead of borrowing our way into a debt nightmare. In the second half of last year, we welcomed John Singh, Lauren Gopal, and Snehal Talati. They and Barb are our business office, and in this short time that they've been a new team, they have been astutely operating our finances. They've been taking a new look at the old way of doing things, and they're improving our form and function in ambitious, competitive fashion with all of our appreciation. Thank you to our business office team. We also thank George Gall and Barb for carrying us forward during that interim period. Thank you both. George is going to watch this on video later. He's back in Florida. He lives in Daytona Beach, Florida, so I told him we're all going to come visit him. Sounds good. And because we've improved so very much of our facilities over the last few years, we now stand in a position of strength, whereas our competitors continue to struggle with things like deferred maintenance. Deferred maintenance means facilities issues that institutions can't yet afford to fix. We only have one significant deferred maintenance issue. It's some underground electrical service that we need to replace. It's costly to do it, and our plan is to get it done in this academic year, probably over the winter or at the end of the year, maybe into next summer. Last year, I mentioned our campus master facilities planning process. That's now complete. The electrical project is the biggest part of what came out of it. So underground electric is not much to look at, but it is essential, and because we were prudent in our planning, what we found out is that we have an exciting, beautifying, and functional opportunity here. It's solar. Through our campus master planning, we learned that the Inflation Reduction Act will give us enough funding such that if we embrace solar in conjunction with our other underground electrical project, the net cost for us would be the same as if we did no solar. So the objective being here that with solar, we're actually hoping to reduce overall project costs and electric costs over time. So that's the goal, and we also want to integrate the RACP funds too that we've been talking about. So right now, we are exploring 3 possible areas on campus to solar energize. Our parking lot with shaded car parking spaces as envisioned here, a pavilion so that we don't have to keep getting tents for events out front. And by the way, the cost of those tents out front for us, it's roughly in the area of like $7,000 to $10,000 a pop. So this would be a huge savings there. And we're also thinking about possibly 1 or 2 other sort of smaller solar spaces, such as our roofs, and maybe outdoors over the basketball courts. We'll see how it shapes out as a part of the campus master planning process. We're also looking at and sort of toying with the idea of maybe 1 or 2 car charging stations on campus too. So if we do adopt solar, we will likely leave a large open space, as you can see here, right out front of our Basiliad Manor Library building. And we're doing that so that we can eventually make it a grassy quad between the buildings. As such, any solar lot would likely be from a little shorter than sort of the halfway point down to the basketball courts. In the last year, we also had some mini solar projects, as you saw. The lights out front along the driveway. I want to thank our maintenance team, Jimmy and Dave, our contractors, and Kelly, who I'll mention in a moment, for helping us to move Manor College over the years from an institution that did have a significant amount of deferred maintenance to an institution that mightily offers our students our Basilian mission with contemporary, well-kept facilities and technologies. At the intersection of marketing and facilities are a few projects that Kelly has lined up. You may have seen them already. She's hired a muralist to brighten our campus, such as with Blue Jay Wings on the Mother of Perpetual Health Hall elevator foyer. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a selfie hotspot. If you haven't seen the one of Tom Sims yet, it's iconic. He's standing there by the wings. On the left are some concepts. On the right is the painting of the concept into action. And actually, this artist, you may have seen her, she was doing the potted plant area outside as well, and the logo's there. She is actually the sister of one of our students. So we're adding some color to a few structures and windows as well, including, as I mentioned, the planters. And yes, our muralist was able to paint over that very uneven surface, so she is a remarkable artist. Here's a part of our vision for more vibrancy at the Dental Health Center and Museum. You can't see St. Josephat Hall very well there at the top, just above the silvery roof siding, and that's because they're gray and the background is gray rock. So Kelly's plan, and I think, are they painted, or I think it's already painted. So the letters are now painted, and they look great, and that really gives them some pop. By now, you've seen our You Belong Here banner on Fox Chase. The soccer field side gives our teams a boost of support there. And I want to mention that when Dave was hanging these up, where's Dave? I saw Dave. When Dave was hanging these up, hey Jim, the neighbor gave him a really hard time. And I mean it. And I want to thank Dave for keeping cool under fire and for managing the situation diplomatically. I actually may have handled it. I probably would have been less diplomatic. Kelly is also setting us up with one of two banners. These are some mock-ups for when you enter our driveway and you're facing Basiliad Manor. As a part of last year's listening tour, we heard from our students that they wanted to reduce the fishbowl effect over at our fitness center. So we came up with this translucent sort of privacy solution. It's similar to what we have at the bus stop out front. If you look through the back of this bus stop, you can see whoever's sitting there up front of it. So this is also translucent. And we've got some more additional surprises that you'll see as you walk around our lovely campus. And there are tweaks to brighten our students every day and our every day. Under the umbrella of facilities is also IT. And last year we implemented our new student information system. We had a bit of a rough go after about 2 years of preparatory work. But we are at a different point now. And we're about to embark on an improved approach. So this summer, John Krebs and Diane Saradakis both went to the Anthology Conference in Tennessee. And they want us to reframe our cultural thinking on campus about anthology. So John and Diane, they're going to present after me today to share more about why they think that. So I think we should thank Diane and Nick and Chris Hartman and our faculty and everyone who has had a hand in anthology and helping us to move that forward. Thank you. Snehal, who goes by Snee, if you haven't met him yet, he's built a task list of open anthology challenges. So John Singh and Snee, they're actually going to be assisting us with acquiring and maybe extracting a little bit resolutions from anthology to ensure that they give us what we need and that we're trained to be more prepared to properly implement and operate the system. So the manager of IT role is currently posted, and if you know of candidates, please submit them to Denise Studevan and John Singh, as we want a strong pool of candidates before we decide on any one. We're considering exploring the idea of a joint IT oversight role with another Catholic institution. This way, we're together able to secure a high level of talent and to push for economies of scale in software and hardware. We're a part of some consortiums right now, and we want to think about things that way when it comes to IT. We're very, very grateful to Jason Reese for keeping us forward positioned. Thank you, Jason. We had intended to install something called air fiber, I didn't know what it was, last year, which will transfer electronic data between our buildings through the air better than our wires, but that had gotten tabled for a period. And Jason revived it, and he's working on it right now with our appreciation. Thanks again, Jason. Now, Jason explained to me that the Wi-Fi issues that are in the residence hall, they have to do with the solidness of the building. When the sisters built buildings, they built them to last. So please, when you're speaking with our students, remind them, those in the residence hall, that if they raise that issue with you about the Wi-Fi, that if their Wi-Fi isn't as strong as they like, that there is something to booster, and some students have said, yeah, it really works for me, and others have said not so much, and others are saying that they got it, but they didn't buy it. So connect them with Shamika, and Shamika has some details on how those boosters work and where they can get them. But know that it's on my mind, and it's on our minds, that we need to get more Wi-Fi transponders in the residence hall, and that is something that we're going to address as we onboard a new IT manager. This past year, our marketing office reimagined advertising creative for the outdoor campaign as well as the digital campaign, which has become even more important. The results are powerful and eye-catching advertisements. The Office of Marketing and Communications focused on using engaging photography, bright blue hues, and we purchased large full bus backs for the first time. We want to thank Allison Myers for completing 154 design projects, and these are just three, a small example. Excuse me. Our media placements, which are our unpaid advertising, such as articles written about Manor or faculty or staff in the news, were dramatic during the early days of the escalation of Russia's unprovoked war on Ukraine. Overall, you can see in the far right column that we're tracking better than the 2 years prior to that, and we continue to leverage new relationships to grow average placements across the years. We thank Anthony for writing 67 stories last year, getting us into the media effectively, and keeping us well apprised, such as through Manor Now. Kelly designed a new marketing dashboard that she regularly tracks. So there's a lot of data here, I know, but let me just break it down into the three key indicators. One shows how much website traffic we earn. Two is how much social media traffic we earn. And the third is how many students are creating applications at Manor at the top of the admissions funnel. That's the goal of marketing, right? That's the two far right columns. Now, what precipitated this kind of level of focus was the discovery that social media traffic is up and web traffic is down, which means that we needed to shift our advertising dollars into the places where the students are before they know about us, not where we wish they were. They may go to our website, but they'll often only do it now after seeing or hearing something about us on social media. So when you have the opportunity to see something that we're doing on social media, please help to share and to repost and like and all those things that happen in social media. So here's how we're doing on the specific social media channels. The first chart is our total number of posts, which last year was more or less between the two prior years, but keep in mind that Russia's war influenced fiscal year 22. Now the second chart is our social media channel followers per channel versus growth year to year, and all the numbers are up. All of our numbers are up. So that's great work on marketing's part. Congratulations to Manor College. Thank you. And congratulations to Manor's marketing team for earning 4 Cuppy Awards at the 2023 Cup Wrap Spring Professional Development Conference. The Cuppies are annual awards presented by the College and University Public Relations and Associated Professionals Organization. They're given for creative excellence in marketing and communications in categories including advertising, electronic media, print, and more. Our Manor College team received 4 awards, competing against much bigger and well-resourced universities. We earned silver for print postcards for the Manor College Spotlight Series. This is the second year in a row that we have won in this category. Bronze for special events for our evening with Manor Virtual Gala. That's the 3rd year in a row that we have won this event, that award. Honorable mention for short form writing for a story on alumni Sharissa Palmer. You may remember Sharissa in criminal justice. Honorable mention in the wild card category for the team's efforts in supporting Ukraine. with Kelly overseeing both marketing and communications and our advancement office, it's worth repeating that the offices work closely together for programs like our annual gala. And we'll take it from the top now with advancement, but before we do, let's please thank the whole marketing team. Last year, advancement increased its annual goal from 500,000 to 575,000. What you're seeing here are sort of the cold, raw numbers of success. But what you're not seeing is the incredible amount of time and energy and effort. This doesn't happen, this success doesn't happen by itself. It is a major undertaking. We exceeded our goal by 6%, and that's thanks to Kelly and Tom. Thank you both. Through the pandemic and even through last year, our annual gala had been adapted to an online format. Last year, we had a wonderfully produced set of virtual programs with the fellowship of our community and robust engagement. Our gala this coming November will return to in-person, and we're making it more accessible than it's been in the past because of the pandemic. We'll be transforming our library into a wonderful evening with Manor, and Kelly will remind me later that we're not going to be calling it the Gala anymore. We're focusing on branding it as Evening with Manor, and we're going to leave it at that. It will be a cocktail reception where we'll honor our honoree, and the testimonials part will be pre-recorded to keep them succinct and appropriate to the program. And I'm happy to share that this year's honoree is Stasia Manto-Maloney. Stasia is a long-standing current and former Manor trustee. She had previously served with Sister Mary Cecilia Drzezinski, and she's serving again currently. She's Manor's only alumni trustee, and she's been more than generous in sharing with us her talent and her resources over many years. We had a major advancement achievement last year that simply could not have happened, and I mean it. It could not have happened without Tom Sims. When Russia's war with Ukraine escalated in February of 22, I made a large federal request that may have gone undeveloped without Tom's diligent work. Through relationship building with Congresswoman Madeline Dean and her staff, we secured one of the largest grants in Manor College history, $1.27 million for our students who are refugees, immigrants, and first generation in their families to attend college. It positions us for a game change in financial aid to support our students, and our admissions, financial aid, and business and advancement offices are all working together, working their magic to ensure the funds are robustly used this fall and next. Thank you to all 4 of those teams for the work that they're doing right now, and thank you, Tom, who additionally worked to secure us another aggregate $200,000 in grants last year. Thank you all. Now, there were only 1 or 2 fundraising ideas that we rejected. This one was the VedTech Human Wash. So, Tom, we're not doing that one. A few other quick advancement mentions. Our Manor Day of Giving resulted in our largest ever goal being achieved of $50,000 in one day, with incredible community enthusiasm and 100% financial support from our Board of Trustees. Our 75th anniversary book featured dozens of stories and features about the blessings that we have, the blessings of our students, about our campus spirit, and about our longevity, including a cover story about Manor's mom, Our student presidential ambassadors coalesced, thanks to Kelly and Allie, with 10 students who assisted at 44 of our events and helped us with fundraising last year. Thank you to them as well, our students. Our faculty, our deans, and our provost have accomplished so much in the last year. And we're energized for this year with a new academic affairs leadership team and a revised academic affairs leadership structure. Dr. Gillespie is our provost. Dr. Senikoff, Dean of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Sims, Dean of Business Education and Professional Studies. Dean Simpson oversees Allied Health, and Dean Rudnitsky oversees Academic Services. Because admissions is under Provost Gillespie, the collaboration has never been better. I want to thank Joe, our deans, and our faculty for your engagement with admissions and for working in such strong synergy together. Thank you. Now, before I go further, it's important to note that the other day I saw Nick driving casual clothing. This is a true story. I couldn't believe it. He drove right past me as I was exiting the driveway. So I ordered him this new t-shirt. This is a t-shirt. I ordered him this new t-shirt. Nick, the arms don't come with it. But I think it's suitable.
I have one.
You have one right now.
And a tuxedo version.
We thank our immediate past deans, Drs. Crosby, Weeks, and Saunders, who continue in programmatic leadership roles. Thank you both. This is a good juncture to mention the commitment that we have shared with our students. As you know, because it's you who are doing it. Every day, you're helping our students not only to navigate their academic challenges, but their life challenges. That is who we are, and it is why we are here. Last year, I asked for you to let me know about the specific circumstances and stories, and you shared them. I'm asking you to please keep them coming. Many of us were particularly moved by Sabrina Augustine's story. Hers just happened to be sort of one of the most popular stories on our campus. And there's a reason why. She has a story of living through a crucible moment, of being under rubble for 2 days after the Haitian earthquake with its 7.0 magnitude. She told us that she was driven to pre-nursing at Manor by her experience, and that she hopes to go back to Haiti as a nurse helping others in the same way that she was helped. Sabrina is now a Manor graduate. She was the beneficiary of our faculty, who prepare our students to truly go out into the world compassionately. She is the first person in her family to go to college. From an alumnus who visited Leslie on graduation day because she saved his academic career and his life, to students that you all have saved, because there's been a few of them here, from homelessness over the summers. You have done it all. When we care about our students, as we do our own children, when we love them as our brothers and sisters, when we give them human dignity and encourage them to reach, they can, they must, and they do succeed. In the last year, we had 101 students on the Dean's List in the fall and 93 in the spring. We had 10 Bazilliad Scholar Awards acknowledging candidates for graduation speaker, and many Academic Excellence Awards conferred by our academic divisions during convocation. There are some faculty and academic affairs highlights that include our return to AccuPlacer testing and Great Ken style. We ran a successful summer bridge program. We obtained Act 101 thanks to John Krebs. Eleanor Leonards is the director. Our Title III grant was submitted. If we receive it, it will be another life-changing win for us at Manor. Let's pray for that. I want to read to you what it specifically does. It, quote, helps eligible institutions of higher education to become self-sufficient and expand their capacity to serve low-income students by providing funds to improve and strengthen the academic quality, institutional management, and fiscal stability of eligible institutions. Thank you to everyone who was a part of that committee, led by John Krebs and including Dr. Julie Senecoff, Dr. Cherie Crosby-Weeks, VP Ali Moots, Dean Nick Rudnitsky, Eleanor Leonards, Anissa Rodriguez, and Michael Blows. Thank you all. I've heard stories about late nights and weekends and all those things by that Title III committee, so thank you. We're also updating our faculty handbook and policies, and each division is creating assessment reports for the past 3 academic years, completing the 3-year report cycle. Following this cycle, program goals will be assessed and revised as necessary. Last year, faculty were again standout in guiding our students to many achievements and accolades. You know that I cannot mention them all, but just to name a few, let's start with the Allied Health Division. The Allied Health Division conferred degrees to 38 students in May. They awarded 20 Academic Excellence Awards at our convocation. Dental Hygiene CODA accreditation was completed, submitted, and we met accreditation standards. Thank you, Dr. Saunders. Dental hygiene pass rates for all 3 examinations last year was 100%. We received the Independence Blue Safety Net Grant again, $30,000. Thank you, Jamie Simpson, Dean Simpson. EFTA exam pass rates were 100%. Dr. Marks was awarded the Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine Rising Star Award. Congratulations, Dr. Marks. And I want to mention that the barn is a place that we've not had security cameras at before, and we've increased the number of security cameras on campus, which helps us with our safety rating nationally. I want to thank Dr. Marks for being instrumental in increasing the safety for our students who are tasked with managing horses, and we should have that all put together sometime this semester. Thanks to John Singh as well for helping us with that process. In the Arts and Sciences Division, we conferred degrees to 22 students in May. Arts and Sciences awarded 5 Academic Excellence Awards to graduates at our annual convocation, and Human Services was launched last fall. Now, Michael Landis, wearing three new hats. Isn't this a great picture of Michael? This is what happens when you Google somebody's name for a presentation. Michael, we congratulate you on becoming Faculty Senate Chair, Chair of General Education, and Middle States Accreditation Liaison Officer. We also congratulate Dr. Stephanie Marks, elected Vice Chair of Faculty Senate, and Kelly Barron, elected Faculty Senate Secretary. Congratulations. Since we mentioned Mike and Middle States, let's segue for just a moment to our upcoming self-study. For those who are new to the process, a self-study is an intensive process of self-review, self-assessment, and self-produced plans for continuous improvement. An accreditor then reviews the institution's self-study, and the accreditor then affirms the operations and plans. And they suggest alternate plans to improvements. The last time we started a self-study was when I first got to Manor. That was almost 8 years ago. It was a healthy process that led us to affirm much of our work. Likewise, our suggested improvements were incorporated into our institutional strategic plan, which we then moved forward fruitfully. This fall, several of us noted here will attend the Self-Study Institute. Thank you to each and all. Next spring, we'll outline what our self-study will look like. And then you can see the additional steps here. Chances are you will be involved because this Middle States self-study process, it is a community endeavor. In business, education, and professional studies, we conferred degrees to 27 students in May. Criminal Justice Associate's degree graduate Anthony Caristo and Early Childhood Education Bachelor's degree graduate Monica Mori were named our commencement speakers. The division awarded 7 Academic Excellence Awards to graduates at the annual convocation. And Leslie Weinfeld was appointed to the position of Business Program Director. Congratulations, Leslie. In academic services, dual enrollment programs resulted in having 129 classes taken by dual enrollment non-students. Adult and Con Ed operations included oversight of our relationship with the Ukrainian High School Scholars Program, the Child Development Associate's Credential, and 88 workshops with 423 participants, plus Ed2Go's additional 30. George Danilou was working in the back corner of the library for months on end and marshaled us through numerous archival materials from Project Resilience, relocating them, and I understand that the next phase now is scanning the materials for online use. And also, academic services revised the college catalog. Let's please thank academic services and all of our faculty for an amazing year. In case you missed it, this is a t-shirt for Nick. Finally, as you know, we're launching the new practical nursing program. Yesterday was the LPN orientation. What you see here is a picture of our dedicated classroom in progress of construction, and Marty driving a bed to campus, a donated bed, by the way, that she was able to resourcefully have donated to us, both of the beds. The pictures are obviously staged to build a spirit of excitement for us, but let me just say that there has been nothing staged about Dr. Trudeau's monumental work. The program has been built from ground zero on Marty's hard work, the work of the LPN Program Committee, with thanks to the support of Dean Simpson and Dr. Gillespie, and thanks to many of you at Manor. There have been many late nights, not only in curriculum development, but in physically putting together the beds and the mannequins and the equipment and more. Thank you to Marty and everyone involved. So this is what marketing for the LPN program looks like. I want you to know, our ELT knows, we know well, that our faculty seek marketing for individual programs. Kelly has historically focused on at least 2 to 3 programs per year. And that number is going to be more intentionally 3 to 5 programs per year going forward. We see you and we hear you, and it will happen. That all takes us to faculty promotions and hires. We congratulate a number of our faculty who have been promoted. Dr. Gillespie, our provost, Dr. Senikoff, Dean Arts and Sciences, Dean Rudnitsky, Academic Services, Dean Simpson, Allied Health, and Associate Professor Dean Sims, Business, Education, and Professional Studies. Leslie Weinfeld, Director of our Business Program, Kelly Durham, Assistant Professor, and Sally Norrie, Assistant Professor. Congratulations. We also welcome new faculty members. Lori Carey, Assistant Professor of English, Dr. Aisha Serini, Assistant Professor of Business Education and Professional Studies, Dr. Timothy Yancey, Assistant Professor of Business Education and Professional Studies, Dr. Viva Bellery, a dentist, a new dentist of ours, Stephanie Blake, an adjunct in education, Lisa Brown, also an adjunct in education, Melissa Eaton, adjunct arts and sciences, Leslie Maxwell, adjunct in business education, professional studies, Craig Snyder, adjunct business education and professional studies, and Dr. Lawrence Stone, also a dentist. Congratulations and welcome. We congratulate staff promotions. Shamika Ford as Director of Residence Life, and Dr. Jessica Zaldos, Director of Admissions. We welcome administration and staff hires, including John Singh. Now, John had an allergic reaction yesterday. Is John here today? Yeah. Where is it? Oh, there you are. So yes, we have officially welcomed John to the 5 Johns Club. There are some superpowers when we get together. Our rings are together. If you look closely here, John is hiding the ball behind his back. But he won't do that when the 5 Johns are together. We also welcome Sarah Baum as our librarian. Michael Blow, Student Success Advisor. Maureen Coyle, Administrative Assistant for Allied Health. Tatiana Danilou, Part-Time Librarian. Lauren Gopal, Accounts Payable Coordinator. Carissa Harris, Part-Time Grad Assistant in Res Life. Anissa Rodriguez, Disabilities Officer. Damian Schweitzer, Admissions Counselor and Alumnus. Denise Studevant, HR Generalist and DEI Officer. Denise is also the committee chair for our DEIA committee. Elizabeth Suarez, Office Manager and Data Coordinator for Admissions. Snehal Talati, Strategic Finance Consultant. Olivia Trotman, Director of Student Engagement. Dahlia Utqui, Admissions Counselor. And Tracy White, PA, Executive Assistant to the President. Congratulations. And we congratulate the members of our community who have achieved Dr. Jessica Zaldos. Jess, yes, I did find you on the Barbie Manor Flickr. And yes, we congratulate everyone on these career milestones and new chapters at Manor. We share with our new colleagues that our You Belong Here culture at Manor is one where we are actively and consistently engaged in inclusivity. The Diversity and Inclusion Committee led several initiatives in the last year. My personal favorite is the Social Justice Symposium and speakers programs like it that are led by the committee and Mary Sims. If you missed this presentation by Attorney Mike Malloy, about and with Leroy Evans, Leroy spent more than 40 years behind bars for a crime, a homicide that he did not commit. You missed something profound if you didn't see that. And it is worth your while to go back and watch it on Manor's YouTube channel. We thank the committee for making DEIA work meaningful and for giving it profile and life in our campus culture. Thank you. Commencement is such a collaborative program, marking both an end and a beginning. And last academic year was our second fully outdoor lawn ceremony. We had more than 600 guests. It's a big number for us. 95 graduates, 74 who processed. We had a wonderful MC and trustee, Jerry Falco. Again, I told her last time that she is named permanent MC. And we had an inspiring speaker in new trustee, Tracy Davidson of NBC 10. She's one of our Manor trustees now. She was our honorary doctoral degree recipient. Tracy is the first woman to receive our honorary degree, and she is second only to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Thank you to the commencement committee, to student affairs, and to our faculty for making it one of the most memorable commencement ceremonies that we have ever enjoyed. Thank you. Leading up to our commencement, our student engagement hosted 45 events and engaged Manor College students 1,960 times as individuals. Events included International Food Day, bread baking, the ever-popular Stuff a Plush. The college also partnered with Wyncote Academy and their maple sugaring project. That was a lot of fun. The Sisters of St. Basil the Great, they allowed us to tap 40 of the maple trees out here. And then after that, we had a nice pancake breakfast, which was a nice, strong community building event. And notably, the connection with Wyncote is more than one, but among them is that our trustee, Jane Zagatowski, she is the chair of the Wyncote Academy Board of Trustees, so good connection for us there. And then also, the LEAD program continues to grow and proliferate and become stronger, and we had that help our students to engage voluntarily in skills development, and we're excited about how that's going to unfold in the coming semesters. We also received our 5th It's On Us grant of $40,000. This is the largest one that we've received to date. And this helps to support education regarding the prevention of sexual assault and harassment. Important work of ours, and that's the pledge that we sign every year. Manor's community service hours were up nearly 30% from 398 hours in the prior year to 516 last year, with 206 staff, faculty, and students who participated in the service to our community by tutoring children, assisting Ukrainian refugees torn by the war, our humanitarian efforts due to the war. Our volunteer work included chairing conferences, packing food for the homeless, collecting toys for children around Christmas, and serving as board members on various committees, and quite a bit more. Thank you for all of that incredible mission-aligned, thoughtful, caring service work by our community. Thank you. In residence life, we thank Shamika for strong programming. I found your picture too. Strong programming using the Shared Plus model. Shared is an acronym for self-awareness, health and wellness, academic preparedness, responsible citizenship and community services, engaging in Manor and diversity and inclusion social development. So this next one is a little bit busy, but what you can see here is that student conduct incidents did increase some last year, which is expected when you have more students living on campus. The culture of our residence hall, however, has definitely changed, and for the better, and thanks to Shanika's leadership. Thank you, Shanika. Our residence hall focused programming was close to on par with last year, despite reports of students feeling equal and greater social isolation post-pandemic. And I believe that part of that is due to social media. It is really crucial for us to make sure that we're keeping our students active and engaged in the real physical world. Christy Prince held 233 individual counseling sessions, not last year, but in the prior year. Last year, it was up to 297, recognizing that the year was very challenging for our students' mental health. Now, this increase is believed to be attributable to students recognizing that their pandemic-related challenges were unresolved. And with the pandemic being over, they finally started to feel that they were freer to seek the help that they needed. So we're blessed through Christy that we can offer both individual as well as group counseling, in person, as well as virtually. As you know, with Christy's role as Director of Counseling, she leads the Student Concern Team. And the team helps to identify at-risk students and guides them to counseling and resources, such as through our Student Emergency Fund, our Bird Feed Food Pantry, supportive counseling, and referrals off-campus for off-campus therapists, support groups, and a psychiatrist for medication management when that's needed. Thank you, Christy. The Campus Support Services Committee is another important instrument of student support. The committee focuses on homeless students, students in foster care, and students who have food insecurities. The committee assisted students with food from our community garden. 26 students received grocery cards, gift cards, and through the committee's work, several students were identified as needing laptops, which we provided. We were able to secure them through Manor's Safe Fund, which itself, the Safe Fund, has supplied more than $7,000 to support our students who had those emergency moments in their life along the way during the course of the last 2 semesters. So thank you to the Campus Support Services Committee. Our Director of Health Services position is currently open, posted, and advertised. And during the last year, Indira, our director, saw 61 students and staff. Some examples of the office's work included vaccination clinics, blood drives, and medical clearances. Now, in athletics, we thank JD and our coaches for a very successful year. Manor had 16 student athletes make the all-academic team due to their GPAs being equal to or greater than a 3.5. That is really incredible. As you can tell from the picture on the left, the men's soccer team reached the ESAC final and received a number 3 seed in USCAA National Championship at Virginia Beach, Virginia, reaching the ESAC finals and the USCAA National Championship, playing against NCAA Division III teams. These accomplishments are firsts in Manor College's history. Coach Holloway was newly hired for volleyball, and the roster increased from 6 to 16 players. Our other teams remain competitive, except for baseball. Unfortunately, we haven't got a field. So JD and I have been negotiating the use of Alberthorpe Park Field A for about the last year. The story's longer than that, and I'd be happy to discuss some of those details offline if you're interested. But what we should share for the moment is our appreciation for the leadership of Senator Haywood and Representative Sanchez. We had our first MVP ESAC all-conference player in women's basketball, and that's Octavia, and our first All-American player in 2 sports, and that's Eddie. We appreciate our public safety office led by David Caristo. In the last year, they've certified and recertified in CPR, first aid, AED, and Narcan training. In cases of medical emergency, our officers are trained to immediately provide basic life-saving measures until advanced help arrives. We also want to thank our Public Safety Office for being integral to the introduction and distribution of our new ID card system, which is compatible with our security access system. Thank you to Public Safety. Overall, let's please thank Allie and everyone in Student Affairs for their incredible work. Today's Welcome Back Day presentation was really, as it always is, it's just the tip of the iceberg of all the things that are happening. You sort of don't realize how much we do until we have some moments to reflect on it. But there is so much that goes into our year every year, and we have an exciting year ahead. We have robustly lived Manor's mission the last year, and we're going to persist with our bazillion vision of the development of our students into successful, compassionate members of our community. And we will do that deliberately and methodically. Manor's strategic planning process, caring with purpose, is midpoint. And over the summer, the ELT met for several successive days. We've got one more round next week to go through it all in painstaking detail. It is painstaking, yes, an ELT member. As an institution, we continue to make excellent progress on the plan, incorporating data from our last 2 listening tours, and assessing and improving and making our plan a true living document. Thank you to our members of ELT. Now, before we conclude, we always like to welcome our baby Blue Jays. We don't have Chris Hartman yet, but we'll get him up here. So reverse chronological order. On the left here is Cooper Lewis Castro, Dennis and Ruth McGrath, our board chairman's new grandson. And then Dave Blyweiss's twins here. They are William and Jesse. Anthony and his wife, Sarah, they welcome Jack Alexander. In the last year, Jason and his fiance welcomed baby boy Owen. And in January, Dean Mimi Sims. I didn't know that we called you Mimi now. Mimi Sims and her husband. You know, I never called my father-in-law by his first name because I always kind of felt that was awkward. So we just went right to Papa. That's what I called him. So Mimi Sims and her husband welcomed their second grandchild, Mel James Samuelson. And in October, Professor and Dr. Stacy Bartholomew welcomed her second son, Dylan James Massaro. So, incredible blessings. So here's some fun facts about our incoming class. I know you all look forward to this every year. They're too young to remember the release of the first iPhone. Oh my goodness. When they were waking from naps, Dan Rather was retiring.
Broadway shows in pre-K, The Lion King and Mamma Mia. Bread was $2.29. A thing of ketchup was $1.39. It's like, what, $7 now?
Yes.
The New England Patriots had won 3 times in a row. They don't remember, they're too young to remember the first inauguration of President Obama. Internet Explorer was the popular browser. In elementary school, that was, remember Napster and all that stuff with the downloading of music? Well, the first time that it sort of transitioned to being more revenue online was when they were in elementary school. And then you got Macaulay Culkin turning 40 when we were stockpiling toilet paper during the virus. So let's show all of our students that they belong here. They do. They belong here. They belong with us. We have the ability, because of our community size, because of who we are, to nurture them. So let's go out into this next academic year and really help them to achieve. So thank you for the gift of all of your thoughtfulness and your presence this morning. May God bless our students. May God bless you. May God bless the Sisters of St. Basil the Great, our board and our committees, and may God bless Manor College. Thank you.